Welcome to Eternal Elements Learning Podcast brought to you by Tiasa Online. These podcasts are a part of the audio certificate programs on Tiasa Online. You're free to take these podcasts on your desired portal also, should you only wish to learn on the go. Thank you so much for engaging on these podcasts, and you can connect with the author on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Welcome back. This is Niket Karajagi from Eternal Elements, brought to you by Tiasa Online, talking about international business. Before we deep dive into international business, it's very important to understand the concept of globalization. I spoke about liberalization, I spoke about privatization, and it's time to move into globalization. While liberalization is all about the government opening up the economy, and privatization is about allowing the private organizations and enterprises to contribute extensively in the economy, globalization is extremely critical in today's world. Globalization is a process of interaction and integration amongst people from different nations. It's not only about people, it's about companies and it's about governments worldwide. So what is globalization? It's all about interaction and integration of people, companies, and governments worldwide. Therefore, globalization is the widening and deepening of these interdependent relationships amongst entities from different nations. This term also at times refers to elimination of barriers in the international movement of goods, services, capital, technology, and people that influence the integration of the world economies. So globalization primarily means a rapid increase in the interdependence of entities across the world. Globalization existed since 18th century. It's not a new phenomenon, but in the 20th and 21st century, globalization is rapidly increasing. Now, why is globalization rapidly increasing? Globalization enables us to get more variety, better quality, at lower prices. So goods, products, they're all available at lower prices. Even services are operating at lower prices, better quality, and higher variety. And that's what consumers want. Therefore, globalization is extremely critical in today's world. And because globalization is creating borderless world along with the technology that exists and the e-commerce that's coming in, it becomes extremely important to study international business. In relation to globalization, the global connections between supplies and markets, it results from activities of international business. These are all commercial transactions that are happening globally. And because commercial transactions are happening globally, it is important to adapt to globalization. And the only way you can adapt your organizations and yourself to globalization is by creating global organizations and by creating a global mindset. Is globalization here to stay? Yes, it is. One of the reasons globalization is here to stay is because with the advent of the World Trade Organization and a whole lot of negotiations that are taking place between countries, gradually each and every market is opening up for global trade. Now, why is global trade important amongst nations? Global trade is important amongst nations because not every nation can specialize in everything. We are living in a planet which is interdependent, and because we're living on a planet which is interdependent, it's extremely important that goods and services flow. Each nation, over a period of time, shall create its own specialization. And with every shift in technology that we experience, every nation will also undergo a shift in terms of the skills. The only thing that remains constant is the raw material or the natural resources that could be available in a particular nation. But then, with the shift in technology, things are also going to be changing because, haven't we seen, we're now moving into the phenomena of non-conventional energy. Now, if you're looking at natural energy resources, they're depleting. and therefore technologies are being redefined. You're no longer going to be needing or using crude oil. You're going to be moving into electrical and motor operated vehicles. Now that's the whole idea. If the technology is shifting, then obviously the skill sets and the resources required will also shift. More and more technology evolves, the more and more interdependence shall start happening amongst the countries, and therefore international business is here to stay. Though there are a lot of people who talk about protectionism and therefore the globalization shall start reducing, that's what a lot of soothsayers tend to say, but I do not, as a person who's been practicing international business or having qualifications in international business, I do not think that's going to happen ever. Therefore, Season 8 becomes extremely important for you in your life, because in the 21st century, we are heading towards massive globalization. And if we're heading towards massive globalization, we must align ourselves to the globalization. We must align our people to globalization. We must align our organizations to globalization. And we must align our nations to globalization. This is Niket Karajagi signing off from Eternal Elements, brought to you by Test Online. We're going to go deeper into the aspects of international business. And I tell you, 21st century is going to be a very, very fascinating century. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next podcast.